Got any questions for Rohan then, please?
Rohan, what's your assessment of what you got from your players this evening?
Oh, we got a lot of effort. Played all the way through to the end. You know, we didn't all go our way for sure, but really proud of the journey, but certainly the effort we put into tonight's performance.
Clearly, tonight isn't a game that defines the season. So, what do you take from where you've come from to get to this position that can, I suppose, put you in a really strong position to go again next season?
Oh, there's probably two parts to that one. You know, like couldn't be prouder of the staff and players for the way that we've pulled together and done some great things. You know, we've won a lot of games that are not only 2 points but memorable performances that'll people will remember for a long time. The effort and the connection and the trust and the way that people have stuck together and galvanised and cared for each other and played some decent footy as well. That's real commendable. But the other part of it is, you're here to win it. So we were clearly the second best team tonight for more than them.
Maybe not the best time to ask it, but what do you feel you now need to maybe take that next step next season?
Oh, there's so much, coming in May. You've got to kind of do some bits and pieces and try and get a shift in performance. But we're going to have a pre-season, albeit an interrupted one with the World Cup, and I think we'll have 8 or 10 players, towards 10 players playing in the World Cup. But the pre-season will give us a chance to establish a bit more of a different identity and expand on what we have done in the last couple of months. But it's difficult when you're playing a game every 5 days or whatever to bring about significant change. We've made some change. We've done well, really proud to be here. And if every year you set out, you try and win it, but you got to get to Old Trafford to try and win it. So the worst places to be than here tonight. But it's at the same time everyone's hurting because we thought we had enough to maybe do a little bit better.
Rohan, given the number of players that you don't have available at the moment, it would have been a remarkable achievement to win the game, really. And obviously every coach has to pick the players who are available, but if you can get them all fit again for the start of next season, which is a massive if, of course, you should be in a very strong position, I would have thought.
Oh, next year's a long time away. We weren't here to make up the numbers. We were here to give it our best tonight, and I'll be reflecting on how I went about the week and how I think the week was really enjoyable week. No one was stressed or panicked or over hyping the situation. We knew what was at stake, obviously, but it's a pretty calm and relaxed week. But maybe reflect on some decisions and some processes on game day and interchanges and that type of stuff over the next month or so. And next year's a totally clean slate. This year's performances won't count next year. But
Was Conrad Herrell's try the crucial moment in the game? That it looked to me.
Oh, there was a bunch of crucial moments, but that we almost had that play covered too. It was one of those where we had it but just didn't quite. Obviously that swung things significantly in their favour. But even the kick where Blake Austin kicked it early in the game to Briscoe, that was another key moment. You could go through the game and find a lot of them. I thought there was a lot of stoppages again in the game, and none more highlighted than the lengthy stoppage for the referee's equipment to get sorted out.
Rohan, what can you say about the Leeds fans? Because they were really loud from minute 1 to the end when the game had gone.
They're phenomenal. I actually feel feel like I missed out a little bit after the game because, I was standing around for a long time waiting for a TV interview that didn't present itself for ages. So I feel like I wanted to do my small part to say thank you. So the way they've embraced a nobody and a stranger like me, nothing but love for all of them. I can't believe it. It still gives me goosebumps thinking about they're an unbelievable fan base, and their support to the players has been phenomenal. The players just love them.
It's still raw, but you look back with pride on the journey you've been on.
Yeah, I was just speaking to the players about that in the dressing room. Like you can reflect on the game itself, and we'll all have what ifs if we did this or did that, or the ball bounced this way instead of that way, and all that from that game particularly. But at some stage, when the time's right, as an individual, they've got to reflect on the journey that was, and we'll never go on a journey the same as that one again. Every year's different year, and it was so enjoyable. Get to know people whilst adversity was front and centre for so long. Is the best way to get to know people in the trenches, and trying to bring about change and make progress on the ladder and fight expectation and all that stuff. It's still early, but we'll reflect at some stage, and each individual will be doing that in their own time. Sometimes as a coach, it's you think a lot and question everything, and then you've got the opportunity to plan the pre-season and whatnot. For players, it's harder because they've got a break, or kind of a break coming up.
Oh, just on the play shot that went off the kicks wide, the referee already penalised it for offside. Do you think that he needs to just let play carry on a little bit?
Yeah, I'm certainly not here to be complaining about the referee. I think he's a good referee, but I have noted a lot that the use of the penalty for offside is, one, extremely unpredictable, and two, extremely inconsistent, or you could actually turn them around the other way, and they've got equal. Sometimes it matters if you're offside, and sometimes it doesn't. You can make the tackle offside and not get penalised, but then you can be on the opposite side of the ruck and nowhere near it, and sometimes that counts as a penalty. So, I think you just let the play unfold a little bit, and we clearly didn't want a penalty then. There was nothing they were going to do about the kick, but the kick wasn't the turning point. It was just a moment in the game that was important.
Can I just ask you about Harry Newman? At the end, he was visibly upset. He's crying on the field. Just how do you feel for him at the minute and everything he is going through? Because clearly it's a very emotional, difficult time for him.
Yeah, he's an emotional kid, and that's what makes him, great. He loves competing, and he loves the club. He wants to do well. He wants to be out there with the players and helping them. So to feel a little bit helpless while you're injured is, everyone handles it in different ways. Harry, he wears his heart on his sleeve. It's really difficult for him, but it's up to us to help him find the solutions to the problems, and we'll take our time doing that.
What happens now, Rohan? Because you've got another game, haven't you? 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks today against the Kiwis. Are the players going to stay in for the next fortnight?
They'll have a break this week, and then we'll get going later in the week and refresh, and use that as an opportunity to farewell some players and sort of treat it like it's a bit of a fitting send off for players that have given such great service to our club. At Headingley there'll be a big crowd, and it'll be a fitting way to say thank you to some of those players that have served the club so well.
You had some very young players out there tonight, a couple of 21-year-olds. How important do you think this experience will be for them going forward?
Yeah, you've got to play in a big game at some point, don't you? So they handled themselves well. We weren't as cohesive as we wanted to be at times, and we had a couple of poor moments yeah, particularly the first try, we just had a poor moment and they scored. And then a couple of kick tries that were nice kicks and we just didn't get there. But yeah, those young kids handled themselves well, and as did over the course of the last couple of months. You know, everyone's contributed. We've used a lot of different combinations and different people, and yeah, it's been crazy.
Can I ask Rowan how, I mean this is quite a new experience for you as well, the last few months, how hard it was for you in that dressing room just now to find the right words to say to the players who, like yourself, are going to be very dejected by this?
Yeah, it's like, what can you, can't, there's no right words for some of those guys that, you know, really taking it very, very hard. Other guys might take it harder at a different time. They're all disappointed because we all felt like we could do it. But also, you know, I've been reminded by people over the years that if you want to, you know, taste the success and hold the trophy, you've got to be prepared to, you know, feel ordinary in defeat. You know, you've got to be prepared to risk big to win big. So that's where we are today.